Thank you so much. And if we could do a roll call of attendance, please, Mr. Angel.
Here.
Ms. Arp.
Here.
Mr. Byer.
Yes,
Ms.
here.
Hensley.
Here.
Ms. Conley is excused. Ms. Howland. Heard from Sally. I want to text her. Ms. Powell.
Here.
Mr. Wilks. Here. Mr. Mingler is here. Public comments, those citizens wishing to speak on agenda or non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes to address their concerns. This is the only time during the meeting that the citizens are allowed to address the DDA. Please state your name and address for the record if you would like. You must really like meetings.
Yeah.
All right, an inquiry on any conflicts of interest in ex parte communication. And then moving on to an approval of agenda, hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at that. Would anyone like to make a motion to? Gotta be more specific.
The bike tire repair air station,
Oh,
motion to approve of that purchase as discussed from the January meeting.
put that under D.
And I noticed in the minutes, the lighting from downtown was tabled last month. Does that come back to this month then, or is there a different time that comes back?
Until we bring it back, but the question was whether to increase, I think, right? Or
Right.
we're waiting for information from you, I think.
Yeah, I sent it all. It should be in this packet. Hang
All
on.
right, let's just add that on then as
Yeah.
E for downtown lighting. Any other additions or corrections to the agenda? I would entertain a motion to approve the new agenda as amended.
A motion?
Seconded.
All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you so much. We would then move on to consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the January meeting, the informational meeting from March, and the balance sheet and the revenue and expense report contained in your packet.
Looking for a motion to accept it, I'm in.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Great, we'll move on then to our budget for 23-24, which includes the 56K plus in revenue. We discussed most of this last month. We had which would include 15,000 for the facade improvement program. We had a couple bucks left over, and then we had some cash, I believe, from in our account as well.
I'll make a motion to recommend to the city council that the presented 23-24 downtown development authority budget as presented.
Any further discussion?
I would like to ask one, and I'm sorry I missed it. What are wage, who's wage, what are the wages? $1,000 wage, not a big deal, but I just don't have a head on it.
Wages, I believe, from our previous discussion, it was towards hiring of a few hours at least for a person to dedicate some time to the DDA.
The DDA has absolutely nothing to do with any of the electrical expenses or anything like that.
I believe our previous city manager was
I
looking
think-
for an assistant director that could dedicate some time to this specifically. And I think this would be to dedicate some hours from a city employee to,
Oh, from a city employee, okay,
Correct.
good, all right, good, thank you. I second the motion.
am I correct in that? Our acting director?
The social district signs, I did go to Rockford. They had theirs posted last time I was there. I was gonna take some pictures.
Mhm.
So I don't know if
Oh.
they had to get something else. So I don't know if, Darla heard anything about the social district signs.
And with
More
the-
permanent than what, we had before, like a,
Yeah, we'd had the wire ones and that's what Rockford started with, and Rockford had put, ones that are on posts that had a little bit more of a summary, and I don't have a picture of them too, but I've obviously seen them, so.
It's like the Aurora signs, right?
Right.
Yeah,
the
they're
Aurora signs.
all over downtown Rockford. I was just there
Right.
last week.
okay, maybe they got new ones, cause I looked all over.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Okay,
So I
that
think
would
we were
be,
putting a budget to actually do that because the city council had expanded our district now to,
Yes.
so I think it makes sense to have more permanent signs. So we had that in there, but we have yet to put a design together or anything, so.
yeah, theirs are pretty sharp and they're more of a permanent type sign.
Yeah, for $2,000, I would think that would be the same here.
Yeah, cause we don't have quite as much district to cover, but, should we go to like Rockford City Hall and ask about where they get those, or how do we find out?
Well, I would think we'd do something consistent with the work that the sign committee has already done, so it looks
Uh-huh.
like it belongs here, so I think the colors would probably be a little different than what they've. done,
Great
but,
idea.
Yeah, so
Okay,
again, this is just approving the budget, so we have the funds there. And if the sign committee wants to get back together,
Uh-huh.
we can certainly do that and then make a recommendation to this board for approval of the design.
yeah, that would be great. I'd like to do sign committee again. There's some signs that we didn't put up the last time that we need to redo.
This is just strictly approving the budget for it, so.
I have
Okay.
a question too. I'm gonna ask for more money for the winter light display, so
Yeah, understandable. I mean, we have 3,000, what do we have in here for it? 4,000 for it.
that's not enough.
Obviously, we just added that as E. Now, we do have some extra dollars in I think there was some leftover money, was there not? Yeah, 52, so there's about $4,300 non-budgeted dollars, discretionary funds that are still in this budget, plus
Okay,
what we have left over from our existing balance.
okay.
Because we have budgeted some money towards parking lots, et cetera, that we have not spent.
Okay.
I still have a couple more. things. The,
Like,
That's what we're here for.
We wanna spend it.
Yeah.
Accept it.
I wanted to ask you about the flower box expenses, about the little red flowers. I can't even remember, dip to somethings. They have a 3-year lifespan.
Okay.
And last year they didn't do very good, and I was hoping we could replace them.
So I am not doing the flower boxes this year because I don't have enough time.
Okay.
So,
Well, I thought those were going away with the new sidewalks anyway. Was that my understanding? That's how I understood it. Yeah, with the new sidewalks were going in, we weren't gonna have flower boxes anymore anyway.
Are we gonna take the big cement ones out?
Yeah, because the whole thing, the whole sidewalk, am I wrong? That was my understanding with the sidewalk replacement is that.
Are
that's-
getting new sidewalks. I was not aware that the flower boxes were not gonna be reinstalled or something.
Okay, and then, I was just was under the impression that they were not coming back. So, I don't know. Because if they're not, then that solves that problem anyway. But if they are, then we can we can fix that then. But as far as I know, they're not coming back.
yeah.
Okay.
Typically, I just buy mulch and put mulch in there because I put flowers that come up every year, but I mean, listen, I'm not a flower person, Judith, so, yeah.
Well, they were so pretty, but they died out last year, and they do.
Did they die out?
Yeah, they had like a 3-year lifespan. I was looking into it.
Maybe we can talk the, garden club into,
Oh, Lord.
you know, help.
That would seem like a natural fit if we have some money here
Yeah.
that's dedicated to that,
It would be, but I mean, our hands are full with that big garden over there, but I'll look into it. We might be able to, get a few people.
that's a budget item. Do we want to leave that in here? Then if those.
I think
flowers are going away?
we need to
We
change
do need
them.
mulch and.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll wrangle Rose and her and I can figure it out.
My back.
Sounds like a flower committee.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing I was wondering, I was gonna ask you too, Laura, today, how we set with the mural. We ready to go this spring?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, she's
good.
gonna do that as soon as the weather is warm enough
Excellent,
for
Excellent.
paint to stick.
And I guess that was all. Nothing we can really resolve today, but we'll,
Okay, on the, Laura, on the, winter holiday display. I know, so I was in here, but I didn't look that close. I guess.
So,
What are you
yeah, it's like,
Anticipating here.
so the current quotes, well, the current cost, to put everything up and down is 43.85. If we add those extra lights, that's an additional $1,897.
is that the ones around the light posts?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are better.
Yeah. And so, and then to put those up and down every year, it's like $300. $600. sorry.
Was there another organization kicking into this, or are we bearing
So
this
the
entire?
chamber only kicks in $1,000.
Okay,
And
so. Okay, so we basically need another $1,000 then just doing simple math.
well, so right now we're at 43.85 and I think we were like $400 short because before the city had budgeted like $3,000 for it last year, but Mike bumped it up, so it looks like he did 4,000 now, so we have enough. But, to put them back up and down, it's an additional 600 too, so we'll have to figure that in every year, so
Okay,
it's
so-
gonna be like over $5,000, put them up and down.
Plus the 1,800 expense, but then we got $1,000 coming from chamber,
Got
right?
$1,000 coming from chamber, yeah.
On top of the 4,000?
Yep, so 18,
So, like,
so
51.
this year we're gonna need exactly. $62.82. So,
Minus 1,000, 5282.
Yes.
right? Correct.
And right now we have
4,000, so we'd be adding another
1,200.
1,300.
1,200.
Now, just out of curiosity, that 5,000 we have for public art. Could that partially be reappropriated for this? Cause it's temporary, but it is public art.
well, I'd like them to be up year round personally, but
Well,
that's just me.
regardless, but yeah, I mean, like, does it affect our overall funding? Do we have $5,000 worth of public art already used this year? And if we don't, 1,300 out of that's not gonna hurt us, I think.
I think from again, our previous discussion, I'm going from memory here, but our next targeted public art was that wall in front of, between the, gym and, Todd's place.
Right.
But that wall hasn't been.
There's
hasn't
no
been
wall
put
there
up
yet.
yet. There's
Yeah,
no wall there
there's
yet.
no pole, yeah.
I don't, that lot, from what I am told, is going to be sold.
Little sliver in
She's
between.
going to list that. That's what I was told.
Same place I make.
Buildable?
Yeah, what do you do? I
Yeah,
wanna
because
know.
we have 0 lot lines in the city.
Is it buildable?
I'm not a
Is it
builder,
ADA friendly?
not a builder.
You know what?
So
Cool.
I
Small
would
enough.
assume that wall is going up, is what I'm telling you.
We are gonna lose a few trees on the street. Improvement.
Can we lose the
I don't
one?
know about the-
Yeah.
Well,
Can I get your husband to do some cool metal art for you now?
well, like I say, I don't know as if we have anything. That was the next discussed area now. We could take some money out of the public art, basket. I don't know if we have anything else in mind. Perhaps we look at something for that pocket park that we could put in there. But
I mean, cause that's not gonna be finished this year, so that we can
That would
pull
carry
1,300
over.
from, yeah, we can pull that 1,300 from there. And throw it at the lights, cause we know we want those, right? I'm assuming, I don't wanna speak for everybody, as far as I know, I want them, I think they're awesome, I want them. And I just think that it would be an easy way to do that if we reappropriate from public art to the lights. And 'cause this is, most of this expenditure is the purchasing of the lights, correct?
Yeah.
So we won't need this same additional money
No.
next year. Yeah.
No, we'll need $600.
Yeah, so I see no reason why we couldn't do it that way. If we're not gonna use that money anyway, let's do that.
Those lights went crazy over Facebook. Especially
know.
in the winter, like
Well-
everyone was talking about it, so.
I know.
I'm totally fine with it. I mean, we would have to, I would entertain a motion to amend Rose's motion that we move, was it $1,300 that we needed?
Yeah.
From the public art, reducing that to $3,700, and then the winter holiday display would go to 5,300.
I'm
Maybe
down
I would make that motion, yes.
Yeah, I second.
Second?
Second for that. Okay, this is voting on the amendment then. So, all in favor of that amendment to the original motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, so that motion then is amended. So if you can imagine in your heads. If anything else in here that we want
I
to
would love to
adjust.
imagine right in front of me, then we just appear.
I don't wanna hear what that is.
I have one more thing. If,
Go ahead.
if we could just get a flyer.
Isn't Chris waiting for you at lunch?
He's taking his nap.
Okay.
If I could just get a flyer that has our events, theater, music, any other public things that we can pass out at these events, because so many people just don't know about it. It's amazing to me, and we don't have a paper anymore. And, it wouldn't be very expensive.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will donate posters once that stuff's done. We've always donated the artwork.
Uh-huh.
So we've done those the last couple of years, but once those schedules are made, we will be making them anyway. So
Mhm.
I'm happy to share those, and we can certainly print a fair number of them
Okay.
for people. If we want to do more than that or want to go to a print shop to have
Mhm.
higher volumes done, I think that's probably
We had that somewhere in
Fine.
the budget.
I'm material expense, maybe, I don't know, but
Is
I
there
would,
any reason why we can't put that in the Bugle?
oh yeah, it could go on the Bugle.
You don't have anything
Absolutely.
in there.
I'm just thinking about at the actual event.
Okay,
somebody
I
would
understand what you're saying.
accept-
My point is, we do not have anything in the Bugle.
Yeah,
Never seen anything about the DDA. I see other stuff,
yeah,
not the DDA.
So
you'll take anything we write up.
Perry and I have been trying to get this to happen for years, and maybe now it can happen. We would love to have a spot in the heart or someplace where we put announcements,
A signage board?
signage board with
them.
glass. Like my husband offered to donate everything to make this happen.
It's
and
been
it-
talked about as long as I've been around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, that would be phenomenal. I mean, we ought to think
You
about
know,
something like that.
We've got,
All right, we're
got
scrolling.
$3,700 for public art. We could relabel that.
Signage, yeah.
Well, a permanent signage display. I know I've looked at, Perry and I think one year as a committee for this, back when we had $500, we looked through the catalogs and a couple of different options, and, we had some picked out, but like I said, we had no money at the time. so-
I have that book at home. Let me look through it and see like what we can get one that's that, that Hollywood or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
it had the windows on it that the key, you could just print and change it when
And
it
then
was
we wouldn't
needed.
have
Put a flower on it and call it art.
What we looked at that time,
Flyers they can take
Yeah, but it
home.
would
looked at that time was as a schedule of events, but also a little downtown map for businesses as well.
would be
so.
phenomenal. You
Light
know
that
how
up
many
too.
people go there? That is, it just needs to happen.
Does.
Well, like I said, we have $3,700 for public art without really a home this year. We
We
could relabel that for this year to
we
actually
relabel
get that done.
Okay.
Get that done. I'm
Relabel it.
throwing this out there if someone wants to make the motion.
I motion to relabel that to
Should be an
whatever that
amendment to the original.
amendment, whatever I gotta say, amendment to the original budget to relabel this public art, $3,800. How much is that?
37.
$3,700 to signage in the heart of
Wait.
What-
Only question, where would we put it?
the heart,
The heart, like,
like where?
yeah, like that's what I'm getting
You
at,
can
like,
have a little heart sign, and if it's one of these
Yeah.
attract, these poly
Right next
signs,
to
it
it.
could go right next to that. It could be mounted there. That's city property.
Library, old fire barn, parking lot sign,
okay.
right? That- we're on
Right,
the
there's
same
the
page?
the Heart of Cedar Springs sign is right
Yeah.
there and it's angled at both.
Right, kind of points right at your
Side.
place.
Yep.
And you put it right next to that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
points at the trees that the city took out.
I have enough money to have two of them, put one right outside the door here.
Not a bad idea either.
No,
Put one in the.
At the new pocket park.
Or even the little.
Someone's
Let me
sorry they
look and
filled
see how
Rebecca's
much
shoes
it is.
today.
What if you-
What are you doing over there?
Rosie's just got one more question, so it doesn't matter.
At least you're not putting correction tape in the typewriter, so. Yeah.
Okay, I will look and see how much they cost and then we'll probably have to make,
We've got a budget, well, you have made a motion to amend the original motion and relabel the public art as public signage in the Heart of Cedar Springs. So we have $37, if we have a second,
add the pocket park
I'll second that.
/ pocket park
and or pocket park.
and or pocket park.
I like it.
Any further discussion on this amendment? All in favor of relabeling the public art, please indicate by saying aye.
I,
Any opposed, same sign. That amendment carries. Okay,
We're getting all sorts of stuff done.
well, we can refer that back to the signage committee if we want to
Yeah.
pull that back out, so that's the three of us anyway.
There's a couple signs I'd like to get up again. Done.
So now we're back to trying to get the three of us together. So,
We'll figure it out.
before the weather gets warm, Laura. Okay, any other discussion on the budget? So the basic change then, we have $3,700 for this signage. And we now have $5,300 for the winter holiday display. Everything else is as written.
So from public art, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Public art is going away then
Yeah.
for this year.
For this year, correct,
only.
yeah. I like this. This is good.
any extra of the budget, are we just gonna leave then?
Right, that would be slush. I mean, we've always kept a little cash and we have some, I don't know, I think it's in here, I don't know what it is, but we've have rollover money.
Okay.
That we've dedicated to parking lots and public art in the past that hasn't been used, so that gives us a pocket when we
Buffer.
have when we have a larger expense, when a parking lot comes up. That's a $30,000 expenditure, we're not gonna do that in a single year's budget, we've got cash there to do that. Okay. Are we tracking?
Oh.
All right.
Oh, darling.
Okay, then, we're referring back
You're
to
having fun,
the,
aren't you?
we're referring back to the original motion then made by Ms. Powell for the 2023 budget as presented with the two amendments. Any further discussion? Right, then we will,
I'll motion.
it's already been motioned,
Okay,
already been motioned
somebody second.
and seconded,
Oh,
I believe, right? Check the.
I did.
Okay.
good.
All right. If there's no further discussion, then we will bring this to a vote. Please indicate your approval by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Budget carries. This is exhausting. All right, 2023, theater entertainment update.
All right. So I actually talked to Perry on this. And one of the things that Mike and Perry were talking about is Mike had given Perry kind of a guideline of what he was expecting the Kent Theater to run for a family friendly event. Mike had requested it be from like 1950s upwards to 1990s. And I sat down with Perry trying to figure out like what was the objective of trying to do this movies at the Kent? Is it to bring out just older movies, or was it to gather friends and families and kids to these events? From the conversation between Mike and Perry, Mike really wanted some older movies, but he was afraid that if we went too old, that we weren't going to attract younger crowds, such as the family events, which is what's going to help pull in some money. So the movies that he has potentially going right now is The Never-Ending Story, Caddyshack, Caddyshack 2, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Rebel Without a Cause, Greystroke, The Legend of Tarzan, Gone with the Wild, Bloody, 30 Seconds Over Tokyo, The Cowboys, The Secret Garden, Chariot, Jailhouse Rock, and Doc Hollywood. He's a little concerned that we're not going to get the type of audience that we want with this, and so was I, because from my understanding, this is more a family oriented event rather than just bringing out some of these old school classics and hoping that people will
I
attend.
cannot see a modern kid going to watch.
I can't either.
Oz or Bullet or 30 Seconds Over Tokyo.
That was my fear as well. So
Jailhouse Rock.
there's a couple on there that I
With the
think
Wind.
would do well, like Caddyshack and Caddyshack 2, and maybe the Huckleberry or the Adventures of Huckleberry. But the problem is with discussing the movies with Perry is it is incredibly difficult to lock in movies, especially like cheaper movies. He typically wants to go with Warner Brothers because it's about $300 to run one movie, as opposed to like Disney where it's like 1,100. So I do have another list of recommendations that he would like to see replacing, such as like the Space Jam. And he needs this finalized hopefully by today because he's got to go and talk to them and get these on reservations. But with the recommendation of trying to get more kids in there, Tom and Jerry the movie, Space Jam, the Dukes of Hazzards, the Secret Garden. Sorry, bear with me. Harry Potter, I believe, is I forget the other committee was going to sponsor that. But basically we need to come to a conclusion of what movies we'd like to replace with the original list and lock that down today so he can get those movies on order and reservations.
All those movies you just said are movies, more movies people will.
Yeah, yeah, and
This stuff, I don't see it, like,
there's no way.
the Dukes of Hazzard, we should do a car theme like they
Yeah.
did with Smokey and the Bandit.
Exactly.
Right? Like that was super, super cool, and do that the night that they do the car show. Like they're,
I'm a huge Elvis fan.
I looked at these movies and I'm like, I don't know any of these movies. I would not bring my family to any of these movies because I don't even know them.
Yeah, I know who
Oh.
it is. I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in probably 20 years, but
I think we should. I so agree, we replace them.
I can
Yeah,
see.
I'd be personally be fine replacing them, and I would also, I was gonna ask, because time has to be of essence here.
Yes.
Both for securing the movies and number two, I need a list so I can get
Yeah.
artwork done and.
I have a list that we kind of highlighted that we would like to replace. If I just didn't know who to send it to, Sue, if you want me to send it to you. Or who do
Are
I?
we good to run with this?
Can we just run with it? Okay.
Okay.
Let's replace it.
Just replace them? Okay, I can work with Perry and then I'll send an email what we changed.
Alright.
I'm apologize, I'm still learning.
It's okay, no. And once that final list is done with the dates, send them to us and I'll get artwork done. So
Okay,
we'll just
perfect.
Donate that.
I will get that done. Otherwise, that's all I have.
All right, so that is our update. Facade improvement, program workshop, so we just passed a budget for this. Is he suggesting that we're gonna go into a workshop today?
No, schedule a workshop.
Schedule a workshop, that's better, okay. Were there some suggestions left for us, or are we just gonna look at the calendar and try to find one here?
I glanced at this and went, oh my God. This can't be that, I mean, we're gonna need a couple hours to really go through this and, you know.
When we did that last, workshop, that was an evening, was it not? Like a Monday or a Tuesday evening?
Yes, it was a Monday or Tuesday.
So we're supposed to just pick one out here?
Would it be a full DDA board or just two of you?
Yeah, this is a budget thing, right?
Well, this is the facade improvement program, and personally, I think I would want everyone's input to this if we can make it work, because I think this is important. This is a large project that we're doing and putting this in place. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be looking at the sample that's here, and then we're actually going to set the rules and set how the program is going to operate. So I think it's important for all of us to be involved in that, so. Right, well, Monday, May 15th is the next Monday I have off.
I'm free.
do
Monday,
have
May
to drive
15th.
to- I have to go to Wyoming that day, but I could move that.
Talking about
Probably
noon,
an afternoon even, well, we can do it either as a noon meeting like this, or we can do it that evening.
I'm for noon. I'm for noon.
Either one of those works for me. I can just go to Wyoming in the morning. I have to go talk to the VA that day. Everybody's favorite thing.
Well, if we're talking about a workshop, it's gonna be a 2 to 3 hour thing, probably, correct? So if you're talking noon, you're gonna be noon to 3 or 11 to 2, something like that, or we prefer to do it. in the
Eight to
evening.
midnight. For me, I don't care,
4 or 5
but I'd
o'clock.
rather want my input, it's noon.
Video you in,
Yeah, if you can zoom me
Perhaps.
in.
I was gonna say, we can set that up.
preferences over, I mean, you and I both hate noon, but if,
Yeah, I'm fine with one.
Okay with me. How about some
Okay.
sandwiches?
we could probably bring some sandwiches, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, we wanna do 11 to 2, or do we wanna do the evening? Like that
11
4
o'clock
o'clock,
would be nice.
10 to 2, 10 to 1.
11 to 2?
May 15th.
All right, so what I would, entertain a motion to set our workshop for Monday, May 15th from 11 to 2.
Motion.
Thank you. Second? Any further discussion?
Is it possible, since we're having a lunch over the noon hour, that our budget would provide us with a little sandwiches or something?
Material expenses, we have $1,000 in the budget for that. We can do a nice lunch.
How do we get it from the brewery?
Surf and turf?
Oh, let's work together. We
Yeah.
can,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We should do.
Will this come with or without a cake?
are we licensed for that here?
We can go to my office.
Well, that is true. Do we want to do it here? Because we can zoom you in versus doing it at another establishment.
It does, I mean,
I'm
you
fine
can
doing it
zoom
here.
me in from wherever you guys, if I'm up to it, I will be here. If I'm not, I will 100%.
Don't, I think we might have to be recorded. I'm not sure, but
Do we have to do
I believe that
Workshop is a workshop. That's not public, I don't think.
we got a quorum.
I mean, the
And we can
public is
invite other
invited,
people,
but
right?
I think we
we
should
have the
look
setup
into
here
it.
with the kitchen right there, facilities, restroom, Zoom.
It is.
Yeah, let's just do it here. We can work together. I mean, one of us can bring sandwiches, one of us can dessert and salad or whatever. Okay. All right, so we have a motion on the floor to set that time and date. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Boom, moving on, bike station. Per the email, we have an offer to put the bike station somewhere, or a donation.
Ashley Ewan is a local Girl Scout troop leader. She contacted 2 other local Girl Scout troops, so 3 troops, up to $200 each, would like to donate to the DDA to help offset the cost for a bike repair / air up your tire bike on the White Pine Trail, right by the bike, where the bike rack. It comes in red.
Like it already?
How much is it?
Well, Mike, when Mike brought this, I thought to you in January, he said $1,500 to $2,000. Tanya from DPW found one last week. I think it was 1,200. So maybe not to exceed 1,500 or something, and then the contributions from the Girl Scouts will lower the cost. We'll buy it, DDA will buy it. And then the contributions will come back to the DDA fund.
In our budget that we just,
In our budget, hang on.
we have material expenses.
And we'd have to pay for installation too, so that it,
There is power, right?
Do we have to put power there?
I was just about to say, is there power to power that unit there?
Well, the model that Tanya found does not require power.
Is it like solar?
Like an
Manual
air
pump?
pump.
It's a manual pump.
So, yes.
Oh, okay.
The question that I brought up back to you from our previous discussion, we were more than happy to host that put it at the brewery as well, because we have a bunch of bike racks that are already there. I know the library had also been discussed as a site for it. we're still willing to do it. I don't know, we're gonna need to get, DNR permission to put there, or is that city property where that is at the staging area?
Anything
Off the
to the
trail a ways.
west, anything to the west of the parking lot is DNR, to the east is city.
So is it on the?
Depends on when, to the east.
You putting a, like,
Be on the city
where the
property.
restroom at, where, West Wing, the West Wing is at.
West
the
Wing?
West Wing on the east side.
Yeah, the east side is city property. We
West
had to measure it once. Kind of split right down the middle of that parking lot.
So if it's on the east side, then
Side
we're,
of the Parking lot.
So east side, you know, that'd be a great place near that gazebo or the bathroom in that area.
There would be enough room to put your bike up on the, mount piece,
Mm-hmm,
work on it.
mm-hmm.
Want to try one there? If it's successful, we can,
Budget for another one?
Program in the future.
I mean, we get a lot of bikes on our trail.
Absolutely.
A lot.
Well, and that, which is one of the reasons we obviously, because we get bikes every single day, 362 a year, so.
Whole premise is to bike from, Plainfield all the way up, so.
Right.
yeah.
So where are we pulling the money from?
current city funds, I mean, I know. So the report in your packet today was through April 30th. We've got 22,000 that hasn't been spent yet. We've got a couple months left. I don't know what's,
On page 18, I believe. So we'll be looking for a motion and an amount not to exceed $1,500 that we would draw from existing balance, correct?
My motion.
Thank you, Laura.
That's super important.
Any further discussion? And and that would go in the staging area then, as long as it's not on DNR property.
Red would be really
I'm
good.
just was
Mhm.
clarifying your motion, yeah.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All right, as this is financial in nature, we will take a roll call then. Mr. Angel,
Yes.
Ms. Arp,
Yes.
Mr. Byer,
Yes.
Ms. Ensley,
Yes.
Ms. Powell,
Yes,
Mr. Wilks,
Yes.
Mr. Ringler votes yes, motion carries.
David, that's, when we motioned or when we said yes to the budget, that was money too. Should that have been a roll call?
That's budget. We didn't spend it. We weren't voting on an
Fine,
expenditure.
thank you.
Okay, and then the last item on our unfinished business is the downtown lighting. I think we've kind of discussed, but I don't know if you want to have any further clarification. I think we did budget for it for next year.
I think it's great. And I think next year we should light the library.
I like the idea of adding something every year. It's a good idea.
Well, actually, if we are discussing that, but, and you kind of brought up, hey, why not have those all year round? I mean, we're making, it is an expenditure to take them up and down, correct?
Yeah, it's $5,000.
Mhm.
But it will also, I mean,
They're
you have
gonna,
to remember, they're not gonna last as
Right.
long,
Mhm.
right? But most of the damage happens in the winter from the salt. But honestly, tons of cities don't take their lights down.
I think for the reasons that we're actually drawing right now.
And it looks really beautiful. I mean, if you think about it at nighttime,
Are they set on a timer right now? Do you guys know how they're turning them on? Is it
they're set on a timer.
I was gonna say.
this
they
timer? Is it a
automatically-
solar indicator that when it gets dark? Cause when the time changes in particular, we want to adjust the time back. So it had to be adjusted a couple times a year.
I'm sure we could probably hire him to just adjust and that would be way cheaper than the $5,000. I mean, we can buy lights every 3 years for,
So
As the trees grow,
would it be,
we would turn them on
would it be,
every year.
would it be fair then to perhaps get an updated budget from him? If we did not take these things up and down every year, but rather leave them and then maintain them as necessary.
And Darla, we should probably see where Mike put them too. They picked them up from my office after they took them down. So last year they were missing. So, when they got picked up from my office. So let's check and see where those are.
That'll solve that problem too.
Whatever.
Storm right out there where the kids can hang from them. Okay, then a new business, we are looking for a motion to donate one pennant from the DDA pennant sale to the Kent Theater.
Did everybody see this yet? I didn't know.
I think so.
The only one that we found.
Nice,
Yeah, if it's got a theater on it, yeah, I see, yeah. That's an easy question for me.
needs more red.
I make that motion, send that to the library, the theater, that makes sense to me.
Second.
Awesome. Any further discussion?
Oh,
Oh,
All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
I've also
And then-
already sold 2 of the red flannel ones. You wanted one.
We do too, but I was gonna ask, where can we?
Yeah.
Do I come, we talk to you?
okay.
We'll move it.
Yeah, let us know what you, yeah.
I wanna do it, we'll figure it out.
Have an account now. You can write a check to, Sears Springs DDA.
Beauty. Thanks, Rose. We can talk about when you come pick up Chris.
You can have them.
That's
No,
where
no,
he's
no.
sleeping, the brewery.
We vote to send him back. Alrighty, any correspondence? Side of the resignation of our former DDA director.
I had a business owner come to me about joining the DDA. Do I have to like say that?
Nice. That would be correspondence. It probably would be disclosed, although we don't necessarily have an opening for a business owner unless they are a resident of the district, in which case Rose might be appointed to.
Do not believe that she is a resident. It's Sonia Concrete. I don't know. No, I think she lives out on Pine Lake. So, but I
Duly
should
noted.
say that she come in.
I know she filled out an application quite a while ago, so that part's done.
Okay. Acting DDA Director's Report. I'm kicking the ball to you, right? I know you try to kick it back at me.
I was trying. Concerts at the amphitheater. Are we lining them up?
Nope, there are, I think she's waiting on confirmation for 1 or 2 and we have the schedule set. We're extending it an extra week. Actually, we're gonna do an Augstoberfest. We have actually a Hall of Fame, an accordion Hall of Fame, player band coming. He's on, North American tour. So this guy's gonna be here in August. So it's actually after kids go back in school, but I think it's August 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, but that one will probably be pretty cool and there'll be lots of people in Lederhosen out there. So, but I think she's pretty much got the season lined up. There's one rain date, which is the weekend before that, set, and then this one. So I think we have 9 weeks that are booked. And I believe she is at or slightly under budget, from my understanding. So,
Good job, helps.
yeah, she's been under budget every year, so.
I got an email this morning from Kimberly Jeltma,
The
Farmers Market lady.
Farmers Market, yes.
Yeah. Only 4 people signed up, including them. So they're going to make this a monthly event on the 3rd Saturday of every month, starting in June.
3rd Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking for our old sign too. We were gonna retrofit that for her. We have been talking to her. I just haven't been able to locate it yet. If we had it, I don't think we threw it out, but we did. But that was the same thing. We had trouble getting vendors to actually commit and show up on a consistent basis. So we wished her luck. We've sent her all of our materials to try to help her, but. Any other?
This has been sitting up front,
Is that for Karen? Yeah.
Todd.
Oh, for Todd, yeah.
Anybody see him? Should I mail it to him?
I can take it to him and take a picture if we want. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if anybody's walking with me, we can go knock on his door on the way back. So.
That's all I had.
Cool, awesome. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to trustee comments. Man, we're in record time. This is outstanding.
Wonderful.
Bernie, what's on your mind?
All set, good to go.
That's the best speech ever. Cody, welcome.
Thank you. Just a quick comment about actually our Zoom meeting. I had two people on it last time, and they said they cannot hear anything. So I just wanted to make that aware and just double check and see if that's.
You literally have to have this in front of your mouth,
Gotcha.
even all of you up there.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's very hard.
We get that at the city council meetings as well.
Yeah.
Perfect. As
No,
long
I've
as it's
listened-
known.
I've listened to them a little bit afterwards just to kind of check, and usually you can hear, but yeah, it's faint.
Okay. Yeah. And they could not hear anything. That's all I got.
Well, normally can hear me.
I can hear you.
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Outstanding. Gosh, you guys are great.
Happy Spring's coming along and we've started work on the community flower garden and always looking for more members to the garden club, and it's going to be beautiful again this year. And thank you everybody for being here today. It's a great privilege to work with all of you.
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you.
We got a new Labradoodle training, so you're gonna see a new dog in the bakery. He's really friendly. He's the laziest dog I've had for training yet. So that'll be kind of fun to work with. Other than that, nothing to say.
Great. Thank you all for your contributions. Thank you, Ms. Falcon, for stepping up and being here. This has been fun today, and in brief, a couple of notes. We will have our Jeep nights and music starting on Thursday, the 18th, I believe, and a DDA contributing event, the Cedar Blitz. That is, they did change that organization changed the date this year. They are now on the Michigan Gravel Series. They're expecting a doubling of their participation. So they're anticipating somewhere between 800 and 1,000 bikers this year. If you haven't had contact with those guys, any of you as small and local businesses, I would encourage you to maybe, and I can provide their contact to you, but get involved in that if you can, because these are 98% people who are not from Cedar Springs coming to Cedar Springs and willing and able to spend money. I think it's a great opportunity for us to put our best foot forward and roll out the red carpet for these guys. The goal when we started this thing 2 years ago was to get this up into the Bear Ribeau range, which is 4,000 bikers in Hastings, and that is the largest gravel event in the world. And it's on the map. So that is it can be a great local event for our community as this thing continues to grow. So I'd love to see more of the community get behind this thing if we can. That's July 8th. July 8th.
July
July 8th. So if
July
you want to
8th.
mark your calendar in that, it's right around obviously the 4th, but that should be a really continue to improve as an event and be.
Is there a way for local folks to sign up as volunteers?
Yes, absolutely. cedarblitz.org or .com. It's one or the other.
Okay.
But that information is on there. We sponsor this and we host part of their thing, but it's not our event. This is
Right.
This is their event. It's Rogue Racing is the organization that puts this on. So
Mhm.
David, do you need water?
sorry,
Need water?
they will take any and all kind of donations. And again, if any of you want contact with them, I'm happy to give you their contact. You can reach out to me. And it could be they will take water, they'll take in kind, they'll take money, volunteers, any of that kind of stuff. So
I've been there
they
every year.
donate.
It was good for me every year. Sorry to interrupt you, but we've been there every year with a big old table full of stuff and I never had anything left at the end of the day.
Excellent.
And their donation arm is the Cedar Springs Music Boosters here in town too. So we cut a check to those guys every year. So by we, I mean they. So anyway, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Beautiful. Look at that record time, 11 minutes early. Thank you very much. Well,
Now on to the next thing I have to do today. On my one day off.
thanks, guys.